But do you know which character isn't a Dandere? Pause this. Pause this music. Wait for it. Wait for it. Paulette. Paulette is not a Dandere. None of the characters in this visual novel are a Dandere. But we don't care about her. We already went through her route. All right. Nope, it doesn't matter. The site described Dorodere as who acts nice and sweet on the outside, but are deeply disturbed from inside. Yeah. I know. That's what I read. But just like there aren't any Danderes in this visual novel, there aren't any Doroderes. So yeah. Last time we finished Paulette's route, alright, of course. Fucking essaying over here, Dexter, Jesus Christ. Maitetsu refers to a character who is often a dangerous antagonist of a series, but switches sides after falling in love with another character. Right. Anyway, which character do I have next? Makuta. Oh my goodness. You know, she isn't my favorite, but she is up there. And who knows? Maybe her route will solidify her as best girl. Because well, let's just say that the other three routes have very much gassed her up. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Let's put on the appropriate attire. Start recording. And let's go.
もう一つ、そうちゃんにお姉ちゃんから選択肢をあげようね。
I knew it wouldn't start with an intro. Unfortunately, it's only the three main girls that have intros, openings, I guess. A brush and ink, and Japanese writing paper. Makuta prepares it, all in a fluid motion, and starts writing something.
そうちゃんがここにサインをしたら、2億円、うちからそうちゃんに無利子無担保で貸してあげますけん。
No matter how much I think about it, my conclusion doesn't change. Taking the help offered to me by Makuta is the best way. I couldn't help but take advantage of Makuta's kindness again. I know how much Makuta suffered and endured to keep me from being chased out of Mikita. When I depend on her, Makuta always answers, no matter how harsh the choice may be. That is why I can't easily depend on her. Unless it is absolutely necessary, I can't. I thought I already knew that, but this time I had no choice. If the aircraft factory is bought here, I will someday cause a fatal blow to the Mikita #1 brewery. It will someday cause a fatal blow. If we're going just off logic, then I can assume that Makuta stands to benefit from this in some way. No matter how much I think about it, I just can't pull my thoughts together.
この時間なら見回りか。
A regular paced breathing comes from near the foot of my bedding. Tatsudoku is completely at rest. I sneak out in hopes of not waking her, then head downstairs to the brewery without turning on the lights.
誰？
僕だ。驚かせたならすまなかった。
Why was there question marks like we didn't already know it was Makuta? After I speak up, she looks relieved. Even I feel relieved when I see her like that. I considered going back to sleep if she wasn't here. Now I'm worried that I'll get in the way.
その、だな。
もう少しで済むとこやけん。
Makuta is the kind of person that would make time if you asked her if she had a minute. That would make time if you asked her if she had a minute. Right. So she takes the initiative and breaks the awkward silence.
ちょこっとだけ待っとってくれる？
無論だ。よければ待たせてほしい。
ほんなら。
A playful look in her eyes. She puts her index finger to her lips. Makuta prompts me to be quiet, as if I were a small child. I shut my mouth and start to hear the reason for the silence. Bubble, bubble, pop. You don't need to be quiet to brew fucking shochu. Ah.
そうちゃん、聞こえるや。
うん、聞こえる。麹の発酵する音だな。
ちょこっとのんびり歌いよるね。ま、今秋の出来も平年並みを超えれんかね。
平年並みか。
The Bigita #1 brand, that's the signature of our brewery. The Bigita #1 brand, that's the signature of our brewery, is a popular local liquor that has a 90% sell-through just with reservations. It's as if it's as usual though, it should be more than enough. But despite this, Makuta doesn't sound satisfied.
大変だな。より高みを目指すということも。
大変でないお仕事なんてきっとなかとよ。
Makuta writes something on a memo while saying that. She seems to be filled with more satisfaction than trouble. Honestly, Makuta is beautiful, even when she's working. Though, thinking that makes me wonder how I look when I work.
よしっと。
She sounds satisfied, likely from finding a place to stop. I smell a faint fragrance of liquor and feel the warmth of the brewery together with a soft gaze. I didn't have a single drop, but it makes me feel a little drunk. I exhale with some words.
枕姉に聞きたいことがあってきたんだ。
よかよ。なんでん聞いておせ。
I've already caused her enough trouble. If I can't repay the 200 million, it would obviously cause a huge blow to Makuta and Migita #1 brewery.
なぜ工場誘致反対運動の旗を枕姉が振らんのだ？
That's why I ask. Because I can. I discard the pride of not wanting to depend on her. In order to bring in this new future by rejecting the factory, it's my duty to do everything I can in my power.
右田は熊焼酎のお人よに昔からあるもんのいわば代表格よね。
うん。
孫当時が誘致反対の旗ば振ったら反対運動がいやおうなしに表立つけん。
ああ、そうか。
She lays out the answer to bring light to my ignorance. Raised in France, Paulette came from the outside. Having her on the other extreme changes things.
枕姉が旗を振れば、右田につくか、銀行につくか、そうした選択を強いる構図になってしまいかねんのか。
A quiet nod. The edges of Makuta's mouth turn a little.
表立っての対立は遺恨ば生んでそぎゃんとなったら簡単には消えてくれんけん。
誘致撤回させたとしても、対立構造が残ってしまえば、後の発展をきっと長期的に阻害してしまう。
She draws a short breath. It's rare to hear her sound a bit troubled.
銀行さんいうか元忠さんには感謝ばしとる人もおかけん。
感謝というのは、 融資を受けさせてもらってということか。
そういうもまあまああろうけど、そぎゃんこつだけじゃなかばって。
他に、一体何があるのだ？
例えば、さあね、そうちゃん、覚えと？
Gentleness overcomes Makoto's eyes.
駅前の通り、最初の信号バー越したところに、やにわにだごのお店ばあったん。
ああ、うん。確か、おじいさんが一人でやっていたような。
I do have a hazy memory of it. It was a soup shop that sold the serving, not to tourists, but to the locals here.
あそこば閉店して、長いことガランドだったんを、元忠さんが買い取って、安うにテナント募集したんよ。
Wait, hang on. Sold by the serving, not to tourists, but to the locals here. Right.
銀行が？あるいは、宝生元忠が個人で？
個人で。家賃、相場よりかなり安うして。
ならば採算度外視か。確かにそうした試みは、地域活性化にもつながるかもしれんが。
If a tenant starting up a business entered, it'd help nurture the local economy. If an existing business from outside the city came in, it would certainly help economically.
実際には、どんな成果が？
なんもよ。
Makoto weakly shakes her head.
繁盛しても、根付かんで熊本へ出てっちゃったり。逆に、熊本の有名店ば出店してきて、お客がつかんかったり。
良くも悪しくも、古い町だからな、お人は。
If a new budding sprouts, they'd rather look for new places than take a root in old land. If an agent of change from outside comes in, the existing people would all go on the defensive.
いかな宝生元忠といえど、個人レベルの試みで、そうした根本は変えられまい。
けどね、他にもやってくれたんよ。いろいろと。
Makoto starts counting with her fingers. Invitation to a sports festival, summer festival, and rock festival co-sponsorship. He made mascot characters, nominated himself for general elections, took part in cooking contests to create new specialties.
それを、すべて個人でか。
そうね。個人で。資材ば叩いて、自分の人脈ば使うて。
Yeah, but like, how much of it is actually his own money? Because he owns the bank, right? So like, you know, as much as he can say it's his own money, like, you know, also the taxpayers' money. What did you put it just... This is what I'm talking about, right? You still haven't changed the category on the fucking stream. And you're talking about shit that isn't even relevant to Maitetsu. So like, you're proving my point. I think that's an amazing thing, but something about it feels empty. If Hosho Mototada really thinks that can change Ohitio, he's much more idiotic than I'd originally thought.
なぜ個人でにこだわったのだ？市や市民、あるいは銀行を巻き込めば、生産も採算性も出てきたろうに。
さあね。わからんよ。うちは元忠さんじゃなかけん。
She states that simple fact while shrugging her shoulders.
ま、そぎゃんと小さか試みば、いくつもいくつも。元忠さんは、積極的に試しとったんよ。長いこと。
その結果としてのエアクラ工場誘致なのか。
誘致運動自体は前の市長の頃からあったけん。元忠さんが本格的に加わったんはその上でよね。
I think it all connected. Through all the facts that Makoto listed, and in a troubled tone, no less.
本格的に誘致運動に参加する前というのなら、宝生元忠の振興運動への反対などはなかったのだよな。
よね。
が、宝生元忠は一切の協力を求めなかった。個にこだわり、結果を出すのを拒むかのように、労力のみを費やした。
Makoto doesn't answer, but she nods. But she does nod.
お人よは変化を好まぬ町だ。宝生元忠はそれを知ってる。エアクラ誘致の話も当然、好まれぬものであろうとも。
But he continued partially to achieve results that proved that little efforts here and there won't lead to the recovery. And being built on top of those results, Hoshimato Tada may have decided on that the factory was the only choice left.
他に手はないと思わせてしまうのは、変化を受け入れさせるには極めて有効な手段だろうな。
さあ、人様のことはわからんけんね。
まあ、それはそうだな。だが、おかげでいくつかのことは分かった。
Whatever Hoshimato Tada really wanted, his actions reinforced the narrative that the aircraft factory was the last resort. Even without the help of the municipality or shop association, he did all he could. I'm sure his effort garnered sympathy.
ならば、反対に示せばいい。他にも手があるということを、確たる結果とともに。
But if Makoto did that, all the attention would turn to her. That is to say, if it caused Hoshimato Tada to lose face. However, instead of turning on him, his supporters would displace their anger onto Makoto. She'd become an inadvertent scapegoat.
それは外来者の役割だ。鉄道と86と、そして僕とは適任だ。
I'm used to fulfilling that duty, though. An agent of change that can make insensitive changes to already established ideas and beliefs. If that sort of person is needed, I'll gladly play that role.
おかげで、やるべきが見えた気がする。話せてよかった。ありがとう。
そうちゃん。
A tense voice. I stop and turn around, wondering what's going on, but Makoto's always a step ahead of me.
無理したり、平気なふりはしたらいけんよ。手伝えることがあったら、お姉ちゃんに言うんよ。
ああ。
She's worried for me. In that instant, I realize something. If the factory is brought in, it'll take Shochu brewing away from her.
うん。遠慮なく甘えさせてもらう。なりふりに構っていられる状況じゃないと知ったから。
そう。
A cheerful tone in her voice. Her hand quietly drifts to me. I hold it and become surprised at it. I don't remember Makoto's hand being this small and soft. And I was depending on these hands, the sudden shame I feel just as quite quickly turns into a sense of responsibility. I need to become stronger and more useful. Cool.
相鉄様、レイナからデータをもらい、表にまとめておきました。
すまんな、助かる。
Asking Paulette will easily yield the answer, but I don't want to give her extra work or have preconceived notions about anything.
僕の方も市役所で数字をもらってきた。
This is the total number of annual tourists who get lodging in Ohito, and also the number of folks who make use of Ohito Station. Lining them up in a graph reveals a few things.
大正35年。つまり、昭和元年は敗戦の年だな。
That year, there was a huge dip. The fewest visitors of the years charted. Atadoku's been around since the war. She nods with a difficult expression.
大戦末期に近づくにつれ、観光どころではなくなってしまいましたから。
無理からぬことだな。が、その期間にも駅利用者数の落ち込みは比較的緩やかだ。
私たちは休まず走り続けましたので、戦時中も敗戦の日も、その翌日からもずっと。
そうか。輸送や移送の重要性は戦前も戦中も戦後も大きく変わりはしないのか。
さようでございますね。それだけに戦時には苦労も多うございましたが。
A proud tone in her voice, but I sense some sort of pain too. The discrepancy jogs something, though in the far recesses of my mind.
なあ、教科書か何かで見たことがある。空襲では鉄道も狙われたのだったか。
さようです。どころか海沿いの東海道本線などは艦砲射撃でも狙われるだろうと言われておりました。
まさしく戦いだったのだな。
Overcoming that age, the amount of people who used Ohito Station and the people who lodged in Ohito City gradually recovered. But in Showa 18, another decline began.
18から20と下り続け、21年の激減は、これは。
21年は、いわゆるエアクラ法が施行された年だよ。
ああ。ならば、その数年前からがエアクラの発展期に当たったわけか。
From then on, it was the textbook definition of decline. It managed to reverse the trend decades later.
この昭和70年には何が？
お人よし町に、ひないさん、ぽーちゃんのお父さんがついた年よね。
ああ。ならばおそらく、お人よ鉄道にポーレットや、ひょっとするとレイナも関わり始めた年となるのか。
Ever since then, although only a little, there's been an increase in station visitors. I thought it was thanks to Paulette, but the number of tourists who took up lodging didn't increase at all.
この昭和60年には何があったと？かかんって、ここらもひどかったにばい。
昭和60年は蹄鉄解体の年です。伴い、おそらく、熊本でも大廃線が一気に進んだのでしょう。
確か、鉄道地図があったよな。
I like the law. This is the most law we've had in any fucking route in this game. I go inside the room to look for it. I follow my memory to find the batch of Imperial Railway maps. I exclude the Imperial part.
昭和56年のものがこれで、昭和61年のものがこちらだ。
ああ、これは廃れるのも無理なかと。
だな。
In year 56, the Imperial Railway lines covered most of Kyushu from Ohituyo to Yatsushiro to the north, and even Kumamoto to Hakata and beyond. The south separates at Yoshimatsu and heads to Hayato, Kagoshima, and to Miyazaki.
お人よ周りだけでもこれほど栄えていたものが、61年には湯の井線だけしか残らんとは。
エアクラは、かくも速やかに鉄道を駆逐していったのです。
The dot of the map and the discussion deepened our understanding. The decline of Ohitoyo is due to the loss of value as a hub for the trains. In other words,
これ、お人よはターミナル駅としての価値以上の観光地としての立場を持てんかったいうことよね。
だな。単純に温泉地となれば、人はやはり湯布院なり別府なり指宿なりに向かってしまう。
エアクラで簡単に行けるのも強かよね。
うん。お人よはその面でも不利だ。エアクラで九州中央からだと大回りを余儀なくされる。
the Accra inoperable region that allowed the Yunoi line to exist is actually a hindrance to its value as a tourist location. We lose to their amount of hot spring water, fame, and specialty baths. And if we are less convenient in transportation, we can't win in a hot spring town.
他の温泉地になく、僕らにある観光資源といえば、8620と焼酎だ。
I was just thinking out loud, but that turns out to be one of the possible solutions.
ならば、焼酎を飲める列車を仕立ててはどうだろ
蒸気焼酎のことなら。
う。いや、蒸気焼酎だけにこだわるのではなく、例えば、飲み比べをできるような。
No, wait, that's not enough. There has to be a better way to use our resources.
ここ何年も、帝都では焼酎ブームでな。プレミアがついているものも少なくないんだ。
森の蔵さんの森の蔵、白玉さんの冥王、倉木さんの100年の孤独あたりよね。
うん。で、その辺の焼酎は、帝都ではまず入手できないが、うち、右田の問屋の方では、普通に扱いがある。
なら、プレミア焼酎ば飲みっくらできる列車にすると？
というのはどうだろう。列車で酒を飲ませるというのがまずくなければ。
This is definitely the most unique solution out of the three that we've already seen in the main routes.
そこは腕のいい客室乗務員を確保できれば大丈夫ではないかと存じます。
Not a bad solution though. I do like it. And that's maybe that's only because I want to also sample the shochu. Hachiroku's voice is bright and strong.
ビール列車というものを走らせる私鉄は鉄道全盛期には決して珍しくはありませんでしたし。
そうなのか。
泥酔させない車販、サービスの体制を作る。
What the fuck?
それさえできればトラブルはほぼ回避できるはずです。
What the? I don't know if that was. I don't know if you heard that. What the fuck was that? Anyway, act like that never happened.
そうした点は、ポーレットや赤い宮司に相談となるか。
Margaret says in a hesitant tone, her hand raised in the air as if wanting to be called on.
ねえ、そうちゃん。そん列車ば、どんだけ走らせっと？
I realized the deficiencies. Deficiencies in this plan immediately.
そうか。そのような列車にしてしまえば、 皆が飲みたがるのはプレミア焼酎に偏るよな。
確かに、でしょうね。その場合、飲めないことがむしろトラブルにつながってしまうかもしれません。
となると、例えば1日1編成を走らせて1人1種あたり2合に制限をしたとして。
Yeah, but like, how big are the cups, right? Because you got shot glasses, right, which are like, that's still considered a cup, or like you got the actual measurement. You got the actual cup measurement, which is an imperial thing, system thing, right? So it wouldn't really make sense when it comes to, you know, Japanese way. They measure in grams. That's about all I can think about right now. Either way, cup is very vague.
17メートル級構成客車で余裕を持たせた座席とすると、定員は60名程度でしょうか。
60名だと1日につき1種の酒が12升。
Assuming 12 bottles per day for 365 days, there's no way we can supply that.
すでにプレミアがついているのだ。扱いを増やしてもらうのはまず無理だろうな。
では、飲み比べ列車は実現不可能となりますか。
そうなるか。残念だが。
Well, it's not impossible. It would be very difficult, though.
ねえ、待って、
Maybe like lower the amount of sampling, the amount of glasses you need for each person, right? Make them shot glasses. Like upcharge on the amount you have to pay to make it a premium service thing, right? So you can earn more money through the how do I say this? Hibiki raises her hands and jumps up. And then she asks if each variety of the shochu can be locally sourced. You don't need to service every passenger, right? You just need to service the ones that pay a little extra for that service, right? For the taste testing.
おう。
地元ごとでございますか。
うん。ああ、無論。詳しくはポーレットに尋ねねばなのだが。
Morinozo and Chiratama are at Kagoshima. Karaki is at Miyazaki. There are other premium wheat shochu like Kamehachi, made by Yotsume and in Oita. Jesus Christ.
もし、それぞれの県に、どんなに短いものでも、鉄道路線が残っているなら。
ああ、それが地元ごと。それぞれの地元で、それぞれの焼酎を飲める、焼酎列車を走らせる。
エアクラでだったら、簡単に巡れるばい。それ、ツアーとして売り出せばよかとよ。
旅行企画としてか。悪くない。うん。実に良さそうに僕は思う。
Aircraft are all on autopilot, which prevents run-ins while the law over intoxication and safety. For the generation resistant to the idea, we can make accommodations and charter a bus tour for them.
良いですね。焼酎列車を各地に点在させて、そして将来的にはいずれきっと。
This is why aircraft are so good, because you can drink and drive without the risk of killing anyone, because you'll barely hit anyone in the air, because you've got 3 planes of motion. Wait, what? And it's also an autopilot.
うん、そうだな。将来的には。もしも線路がつながれば、焼酎列車でぐるり九州とさえできるかもしれん。
It's not the drink drivers that are the problem, alright? It's the drink crashes, alright? And you can't crash if you aren't the one driving, because the aircraft will be on autopilot. What? As of now, the idea can be stimulated. This idea can even stimulate other regions. I can recommend this plan with confidence to other breweries.
マクラネーとしてはどうだろう。問題なければ、まずはポーレットにこの案を持っていきたい。
Makura groans a little, with a frown plastered on her face.
よかーんと思うよ。よかーんやけどね。今の段階では、お人よが埋もれて、素通りされてしまいかねんね。
That's right. Mikina #1 is successful locally, but we have no frame in the rest of the country. People who want to ride 8620 will come regardless of the shochu. This plan doesn't contribute much to Ohitoyo itself.
やけん、ちょこっと、一晩だけ考えさせてもらってよかと。
ああ、うん。無論だ。僕も何か考えておく。
で、ぽーちゃんにも相談ばしておいて。
それは全く問題ないが。
Oh no, it's time. Time just flew us by. What? It's almost 7. Makoto returns to the brewery while we head to the rail shop.
一晩でよかあんば出せんようなら、現状案に喜んで乗っからせてもらうけん。
了解だ。
Anyway, let me do what I can. What I can now. I should do the work with 8620's repair and the passenger car procurement to reduce Paulette's load.
行くぞ、86。
はい、相鉄様。
I mean, isn't that what you did in the other routes and it still overworked her? She was still overworked? If Makoto decides to join in, I want to lay a stronger foundation for her.
そうちゃん？
うん、僕だ。
I thought she was still here, and I was right. She immediately knows it's me. Well, you know, you set a precedent last time. Just knowing that makes me feel happy, and a little bit drunk too. What?
話したいと思ってきた。ポーレットはとても乗り気だった。
そぎゃんと？
うん。鹿児島にも宮崎にも大分にも鉄道は残り走り続けてくれているそうだ。
ああ、そんならきっと話ばうまく運ぶね。
Well, yeah, we can't completely change up our idea, right? We don't have that much time. It's only a side story. We only get one CG worth of we only get one CG in the side story. Maybe. I don't remember how it goes. But, you know, we can't have that big of a conflict, all right? It needs to just go smoothly. Maybe a little hiccup here and there, but at the end of the day, a nothing burger.
運ばなくとも運んでみせる。そのためにならどんな努力も厭わぬつもりだ。
You know, not a nothing burger in the sense of the solution, more like in the sense of the conflict. The complication, if you will. I move closer and notice something Makoto is standing on.
これは蒸気焼酎のタンクか。
Makoto sniffs in response. An ambiguous mannerism that indicates that she's either enjoying the liquor's fragrance or it was out of dissatisfaction.
右太一はもう完成している焼酎やけん。あの味は変えられんよね。
うん。
It's the shochu that carries the name of the brewery and has the most fans. Changing the flavor to Mikita #1 is tantamount to picking a fight with the locals.
だから蒸気焼酎を。
もうちょっと。もうと出馬深めて 同じ勝負の土俵ば立てんもんかと。
勝負
With Morinozo and Mayo, it's Hyakunen no Kotoku and Kamahachi. Fuck you. Instead of riding the coattails of their popularity, we can fight them head on. Bro, imagine if I didn't know how to speak Japanese. Like, how would you pronounce that shit?
しかし、蒸気焼酎とて質の劣るものではなかろう。ここから質を深めるためには。
I already talked about that the last time I had to say a lot of words that were basically just Romaji forms of names, of Japanese names.
醸造管理、発酵状態の管理は徹底したデータ主義で行いたいんよ。
徹底とは。
当時の勘や感覚に頼らん。データだけで作る焼酎に仕上げたか。
Instead of simply improving the quality, she means to completely change how it's done. By formulating the conditions, you can eliminate any deviations in quality. This will allow the best quality to be outputted constantly. Thoughts. Have the passengers in the... Okay, so you can go about it two ways, right? You've got a sampling of your already best made shochu, right, that you can give to the passengers so that maybe, oh, they'll like it so much that they want more, right? Or make them guinea pigs. Make them guinea pigs and sample fucking like different flavors of shochu and then see what they like and then make them like full bottles, right? I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think it's a good idea. And they'll never be the wiser. Unless they want to buy a shit tier shochu and then be like, oh, sorry, we're sold out or something. Because it's so good that everyone bought it. Wink.
つまり、86に醸造管理を任せるということか。
I mean, that kind of explains why she was doing that in Hachiroku's route. I was like, oh, in Hachiroku's route, in Hibiki's route, Hachiroku was just fucking working in the brewery for some reason, and it was just never meant. It was never established why, right?
もし86ちゃんに余力があればだやけど。
余力は作れる。
I answered without pausing. This idea should be pushed for. An evolved steamed shochu, a completely new kind of liquor. I really want to try it out. Me too.
86と僕とはコンビだからな。僕のフォローで86の負荷は大きく減らせる。
けど、それだとそうちゃんが。
やらせてほしい。たとえ間接的にでも。僕も枕姉の酒造りを手伝いたい。
Unfortunately, with regards to brewing, neither Hibiki nor I can help Makuta in any way. But if Hachiroku is able to help, I don't feel like that's a chore regardless of how much busier it gets.
響も同じ気持ちでいると思う。だからこそ、蒸気焼酎のラベルへは心を打つのだ。
I don't understand why Hibiki had a chip on her shoulder when we first met. But now I think I understand more than before.
右田の家にもっと深くに関わりたいから、一緒に焼酎を作りたいんだ。
さあちゃん。
Makuta shivers a little. Her hands move ever so slightly.
ありがとう。さあちゃん。
But that hand closes into a fist.
そんなら、86ちゃんとひーちゃんには。
I don't see any fists there.
枕ねえから直接頼んでやってほしい。その方が、きっと、励みになるはずだ。
Hatsudoku, it's somewhat true. For Hibiki, it's huge. I'm sure she understands. Makoto nods deeply.
やったら、きっと、よかお酒ばしやがるね。
うん。いや、しかし、
Good liquor. Doing work as a wholesaler. I know that's not enough.
良い酒というなら、右対一とって相当だ。決して、プレミア焼酎たちに劣るものではないかと思う。
そぎゃんとしても、人気と知名度が段違いすぎるけん。ああ。
うん、そうなのだ。もう一つ、そこに越えるべき壁がある。
Railord will manage the brewing of liquor. The brewing of liquor made by the same coal used for a steam locomotive. Some railway enthusiasts may like that, but it's not something that can gain the same popularity as the premium shochu.
人気はコントロールできるものではない。その手の工作は長期的に見れば必ず悪影響となる。
わかっとるよ。そぎゃんこつ。
I was only thinking out loud, but I'm brought back to the conversation at hand by a slightly sulking voice. I thought that was cute, but the fact that I thought that makes me feel a bit embarrassed.
故に、努力を質へと向けることは正しい。
Yeah, but like, Otetsu, there needs to be an organic way for the writers to have you and Makoto to fall in love with each other, alright? You can't just like each other at the end of the route. You need to be dating. And then propose to her. Because, yeah, I continue on filling the blanks of emotion with logic of what I'm good at. Is what I'm good at.
その質へ、客観的な評価を受けることができれば。ああ、いや。
なんで、そうちゃん。
I almost let my tongue slip, but she catches it and catches after me. What? And catches after me. It's not something worth hiding, but...
右対一のような老舗には向かんことを思っただけだ。例えば、コンテストという手もあると。
コンテスト
She has a blank stare. I suppose she would. It's if a contest came to this area.
デートあたりだと、まっとうな焼酎のコンテストばやっとうと
いや、デートでも名ばかりのコンテストばかりさ。
ああ、よね。
Whether it's hosted by a private group or industry sponsored, those things are just one big advertisement. Insiders judge other insiders, then award prizes to each other. It can't possibly be called proper.
僕が言っているコンテストはまるで違うのだ。焼酎は、つまりはスピリッツなわけだから。
わけだから
蒸留酒のコンクールになら出られるかと思ったのだ。ISC、インターナショナルスピリッツコンペティションに。
ああ、なんか聞いたことある。米国でやるやつと
うん。世界で最も公平な酒のコンテストだとされている。
The liquor that's submitted into the competition is only poured into a numbered glass. The judges are not given any prior information, and they judge by awarding points to each numbered glass.
300人の審査員の合計得点が最上位の酒が優勝。世界最高のスピリッツの栄誉を得る。世界各国の大使館は大概、優勝酒や受賞酒を採用する。酒飲みたちもこぞって買い求めるようになる。
なんで
Makoto makes a big smile.
そうギャンとよか話ばあるなら。
いや、良いだけではない。厳しい面もある。蒸留酒はすべて一線。焼酎も特に別には扱われん。
なら、ウイスキーやらブランデーやらと飲み暮らされると
That sounds a bit sketch. Why? Hang on, I'm a bit confused there. All whiskeys, I mean, oh, yeah, all alcohol under the same name would only be similar to other alcohol under that name, right? You can't compare whiskey to brandy to bourbon to shochu to sake to shoju, right? Because they're all completely made differently. Just because they all fall under the term of a spirit. You can't compare them. Okay, hang on. Maybe Sotetsu can clarify for me.
そう。そして審査員のほとんどは米国人。日の本人はいても2、3人がせいぜいだろう。
Most of the judges are from America. Are American. Okay, so they're going to be biased towards whiskey, bourbon, right? The maybe some tequila a bit, you know. A sigh that sounds like a groan. Makoto squints as she goes deep in thought.
次のコンテストはいつ開かれた？
毎年の年頭に開催される。授賞式は3月頭。聖ヨハネ・イ・デオの祝日だ。
ヨハネ・イ・デオ言うたら。
うん。アル中患者の守護聖人だ。
あらら。くしゃみ。
She cackles in laughter, but quickly straightens out her expression again.
けど、年初なら、一から仕込んで、ギリギリ間に合う日程よね。
出るのか？
He answers back with a question.
出ん理由ばあったら、教えてほしかとよ。
ああ、うん。杞憂とは思うのだが。
But at this rate, Makoto wouldn't be able to back down anyway. I hate myself for my ignorance, but I have to tell her.
得点は全て公開される。過去には0点を取ってしまい、廃業に追い込まれた醸造所もある。
なんでそうちゃん、そぎゃんこつ。
She laughs and completely candidly at that.
もし0点ば取っても、うちのお客さんやったら、米国の田舎者は酒の味ば知らんって笑うだけとよ。
Exactly. They only know hamburger and hot dog.
ああ。
They don't know the good liquor. I certainly am ignorant. Ohituyo is exactly that sort of town. And Makoto knows and understands life in Ohituyo better than anyone.
わかった。ならば、教えてやろう。米国の田舎者どもに、熊焼酎という酒のうまさを。
そうね。そうちゃん。
I accept the hand she holds out. This is the second handshake. Her hands are still amazingly soft. But this time, it doesn't feel small at all. This went from a fucking visual novel about trains and fixing a train to alcohol and liquor taste testing competitions. Maitetsu. I mean, it is a side character route, so I don't know what I expected.
驚いたな。
It's the same day. The taste is completely different. Using the same brewer's rice, water, malt facilities, and even distilling method.
86が温度管理をしたものは雑味が多い。ありて言えば、うまくない。
It's completely lacking in refreshing qualities. It has the rice flavor special to Kumashochu, but it's too strong, to the point that it's muddling the flavor.
蒸留をしてなお、なぜこれほどに味が残るのだ？
なぜってそうちゃん。
She seems a bit tired of hearing that.
蒸留ばして同じ味になるようなら、酒造りに同時なんていらんとよ。
ああ、いや、それはそうなのだが。
It's such an obvious statement, but I'm at a loss. Although I'm adopted, I'm a member of Mikita. I was taught the steps to brewing liquor.
味の違いは、素材や水は当然なのだが、その他だと。
Yes. It's also it's also created. The difference in taste can also be created by the quantity of ingredients, water, and other things. If you add like 100 grams of rice to I'm simplifying this very much. 100 grams of rice to your brew, it'll taste completely different to 200 grams of rice, right?
そうちゃんならちょこっと考えればわかるけん。前の蒸気焼酎とこれと違いは何ね。
違いは、だから温度管理だけなのだよな。以前のは枕ねえが、これは86が行っている。
So, okay, so in this instant, the amount of ingredients is the exact same, and the only difference is the experience of the person who is brewing.
何の温度管理と？
それは麹。米麹ともろみとだ。
米麹は何からどうやって作った？
酒米を蒸して、種麹を種付けて、それを保温して、切り返して寝かせる。
うんうん。
Nods as a way to tell me to keep thinking. That's why I continue organizing my thoughts by thinking out loud.
そうすれば麹菌が増える。この米麹に焼酎酵母と水とを加え、酵母を増やしてもろみを作る。
なんで酵母ば増やさんといけんねん。
酵母とはつまり発酵の母。これが足りんと糖分をアルコールに分解できんからだ。
Marketer gives a satisfied smile. Even I know this level of knowledge.
そうして作った一時もろみに洗米して蒸した酒米と水とを加え、発酵させて二次もろみを作る。
At the secondary mash stage, most of the sugars have already broken down into alcohol. This is what they call the primal liquor. But there are way too many impurities in this stage.
ほうたらできた二次もろみばどぎゃんすると？
蒸留だ。蒸気焼酎の場合は石炭ボイラーで炊いたスチームを使っての蒸圧蒸留だよな。
そうね。で、加熱されて気化したアルコールと水を冷却器で冷やして戻せば米焼酎の出来上がりばい。
I feel relieved to hear Marketer summarizing it. It seems that my knowledge is not wrong. Now, how do I deal with the information from here?
雑味と風味とは紙一重だ。風味を決めるのは素材、酵母、発酵、熟成。ああ。
My knowledge and situation finally connect. I sampled it at a stage when it's not yet aged. Yeah, who would have guessed? The ingredients and yeast are identical, so...
温度管理で増殖したり死滅したりが決まるのは麹菌や酵母だけではないのだな。
そうね。
A satisfied nod. Marketer smiles as if to give me passing marks.
もろみにはいろんな種類の乳酸菌やカビもおるけん。温度一つで育つもんと死ぬもんとが決まるとよ。
そしてその乳酸菌やカビの働きが素材や水だけに由来せぬいわゆる風味を決めるのか。
I knew what the work entailed, but I never understood it. When the chief brewer decides on the liquor's taste, it heavily influences what the flavor profile is.
枕姉は今まで積み重ねた経験によってうまい酒を作る菌やカビやらを生かすことができる。
She nods. Marketer reaches her hand out to me. I have a hunch about what she wants, so I give back the sampling glass, which I sipped once from.
86ちゃんば折ってくれたら、ソイをリズメでもっと揺れなく再現してより突き詰めていけるけん。
Yeah, but she's too busy sleeping.
それが枕姉の目指す新しい蒸気焼酎なのか。
そぎゃん風に考えると。
She looks down at the glass with gentle eyes and drinks half of it.
混雑味もなかなかよかもんとよ。
It has
可能性も
potential.
たっぷり詰まった味やけん。
Oh, sorry, I didn't let you finish speaking.
なるほど。
I take the cup from Makoto and down the rest of it.
可能性の味か。ここからどれほどうまい焼酎が、そして新しい未来が生まれるのかな。
新しい未来は言い過ぎ。大げさすぎよ。
いいや、全く大げさではない。それを試し、酒造りにレールロードが有用であると証明できれば。
The track closure era being facilitated by the aircraft isn't limited to only Japan. There are still rail lords with no trains left behind all around the world.
その暁には、人とレールロードとに新しい関係が築かれる。人間の感覚という領域に新たな扉が開かれるのだから。
ああ、
Makoto opens her mouth for some reason.
そうちゃん。すごかこと考えよるね。
いや、これは枕姉の考えだろ
そぎゃんとスケールの大きかこつ、考えもよらんばい。うちはただ、よか酒、新しか酒ば作りたいだけとや。
う。そうか。
With Makoto at the helm, I spontaneously thought of this. But if that isn't her idea, maybe I was able to contribute a little.
では、うまい酒ができた時には、僕のアイディアもその上に乗っからせてほしい。
大歓迎たい。
It seems she's rejoiced at the idea. Makoto's cheeks are slightly tinted.
そうちゃんのアイディアば形にするためにも、もっと頑張らんと。
Upon saying that, she gives me a wry smile.
実際に一等頑張ってもらわんといけんのは、86ちゃんになってしまいよるけどね。
ああ、
That's right. I have to confirm to that point.
86はどうなのだ。酒造りを楽しめているようか。
Wait. Yeah, confirm.
機嫌よう仕事してくれとるよ。合間合間に、そうちゃんのこと楽しげに聞かせてくれよる。
Yeah, that's kind of why I can't take her out of first place. Because, like, she is perfect for Sotetsu. Out of the characters that we've gone through.
僕のことを。
そうてつ様には機関士の才能がございます。とかそんな感じで断るたんびに大絶賛とよ。
Yeah, but unfortunately this round has nothing to do with engineering.
機関士の際か。どうかな。86に言われるままに動いているだけなのだが。
フォローはすごくしてくれとるから酒造りの方気持ちを切り替えて取り組めるとも言うとったよ。
フォローは無論できる限りはしているのだが。
But the only thing I'm doing in place of Hachiroku are the maintenance and checks, which I can do on my own. I get the feeling that my skills are, as the shed worker, are growing faster.
ああ。
I explain the circumstances with a forced smile, and Makoto looks convinced for some reason.
ほんならあるとね。そうちゃんには86ちゃんの言うとる機関士の際。
今の話でなぜそう思う。
86ちゃんば生かすため自分のことを後に回す。そぎゃん風にできるんは間違いなく才の一つとよ。
そう言われればそうなのかな。
It's not just putting Hachiroku first. I needed to find a way to turn away the aircraft factory. I'm simply trying to find the best solution in order to fulfill my objective.
間違いなかと。そうちゃんにはそぎゃんして、周りの人ばやる気にさせる才があるけん。
She declares it. Her eyes look at me full of confidence, and it erases all doubt I had.
そうか。枕姉がそう言ってくれるなら、そうだろうな。
そうそう。でなきゃ86ちゃん、はぎゃーんと嬉しそうに、常務の話は聞かせてくれんよ。
She sounds excited in a way that I've never heard before, and yet Makura's expression seems to be sad.
よかね。機関車ば楽しげで。
ああ、大変だが楽しいぞ。多分、それは枕姉の酒造りと同じだろう。と。
That's right. I had another epiphany by knowing about brewing. If Makura also learns about the steam locomotive, something new might come out of it.
どうだろうか、枕姉。忙しいことは分かっているが、一度、8620に乗ってみないか。
You didn't hear any of that. You only heard what he said, you didn't hear any of the audio glitching. No.
乗れたら嬉しかけどね。客車ばまだ中戸でしょ？
いや、ポーレットは手応えをつかんでいるようだった。近日中にも、あるいは朗報を聞けるかもしれん。
The moment I say that, she becomes cheerful.
そりゃよかとね。なら、そん時に。
ああ、いや、そうではなく、キャブ。運転台に乗ってみてはどうかと思っているのだ。
運転台って乗せてもらえるもんとや。
枕ねえなら86もポーレットも喜んで許可をくれるだろう。
I hear that originally trainees were right along with their instructor engineer. The cab is cramped, but there should be no issue with running the train, even with an extra person.
小中列車の案がさらに深まるかもしれないし、僕としてはぜひとも乗ってもらいたい。
ほんなら許可ばもらえたそん時には。
Makura crouches down and looks up at me with doting eyes.
そうちゃんのお仕事っぷり見せてもらってよかと？
よかとだ枕ね。大歓迎だ。
I felt agitated, since I've never seen her act this way. The words that spontaneously came out of me really were a reflection of how I feel. I really do want her there. Getting new ideas for the shochu train is important, but even before that, I want to get approval from Makura on my work. Yeah, that's the real reason you want her there.
制限解除。よし。
After confirming the signal and doing the call out, Hachiroku's eyes dart forward. We'll be in the forest for a while. This section has no railroad crossings or signals. We can't take our eyes off the track, and we should have some time to chat.
枕ね、どうだ？キャブの乗り心地は。
あつかね狭か。なのにとっても楽しかった。
それはよかった。
We're the whole family in the cab. I feel relieved in response to her excited voice. I did feel hotter than usual, so I was worried if Makura could withstand it. Yeah, but she's used to fucking brewing in like 100+ degrees. You do need the water to be hot, right? To get rid of like the bacteria and shit.
それに見てるの面白かったよ。そうちゃん、難しそうな機械ば見事に操っとるんね。
確かに見た目は難しそうだが、 蒸気機関というのは原理的には単純だ。
そうなん？
うん。まず、このキャブのすぐ後ろにあるテンダー。淡水車の中には水と石炭が積まれている。
うん。
そこの給水バルブをひねれば、テンダーの中の水がボイラへと送り込まれる。
昏水面計がボイラ内の水の量ば示しとるけん、メモリ80に保つのが大事かとこばい。
そればひーちゃんのお仕事？
そうばい。石炭投げ込むだけじゃなかとよ。
Crunch. She keeps shoveling even while talking. Hibiki gracefully manipulates the one scoop and to maintain the flames in the firebox.
ボイラ内の水は石炭が燃える熱により蒸気に変わる。生まれた蒸気はこの加減弁テコ。
Well, because I opened it rather widely, the acceleration comes with a shock. Hatsuroku makes a forced smile, but this section doesn't have speed limits. This is better to demonstrate it.
これを引き込むと弁が開かれ、シリンダーに流れ込む蒸気の量が増加する。
シリンダの中にはピストンがございます。そのピストンの運動が動輪の回転運動となるのです。
だから、シリンダーに送り込む蒸気の量が増えれば、動輪回転も速くなり、加速するのだ、と。
Pull.
今のは何番しよったと？
シリンダーから水を抜いたのだ。このシリンダー排水弁を開けて閉じる。
なんで開けてすぐ閉めたとよ。
シリンダー内に流れた蒸気のいくらかはそこで冷えて水に戻ってしまう。だから弁を開けて外に捨てる。
しかしながら開けっぱなしでは蒸気も逃げてしまいますので。ああ、だから一瞬で開け閉めば。
I sense that Makoto is nodding behind me. She seems to be more interested in the steam engine mechanism than the scenery out the cab window.
蒸気は動かすだけでなく止まるためにも役立ってくれる。
Yeah, but that's because she's used to working with complex systems. In that case, I want to fulfill her expectations. I'll let go of the automatic brake valve for a second and move to start braking.
ブレーキを保つのは圧縮空気の働きで、それを作る空気圧縮機の動力ももちろん蒸気だからだ。
While saying that, I put the reversing gear into mid-gear. I make slow and exaggerated movements to make it obvious.
この逆転機は自動車で言えばギアだ。前進、後進、ミッドギア。つまりニュートラルに設定できる。
And while slowly crossing the regulator, I open up the bypass valve.
今のはなんと？
まず加減弁を閉じた。
そんてこを戻し込んだのがそれとね。
そう。結果、シリンダーへ蒸気は入らなくなった。この状態を絶気運転という。
うん。
が、絶気運転中もシリンダー内のピストンは動き続ける。そうなると、ピストン内部の空気の逃げ場がなくなる。
注射器に空気を詰めて、その先端を塞いだままに、押し子を無理に動かしているような状態です。ああ。
She sounds convinced. With Hachiroku's additional explanation, Makoto seems to understand.
そぎゃんしたまま動かし続けたら、シリンダーバー壊れてしまうと？
可能性はある。だからバイパス。空気の逃げ場を開く必要が出てくる。
I tap the open bypass valve with my finger.
これを開けば、空気の逃げ道を作れるのだ。
はあ、細かかとこまでようできとるね。
I open and close the cylinder drain valve, and then set the reversing gear to full forward gear before closing the bypass valve.
さて、ここからはブレーキだ。
I slowly move the automatic brake valve position to normal.
今、 地面ハンドルがあるのが常用。普通に使うブレーキの位置だ。
As I say that, 8620 begins its gradual deceleration. Limit 60. I confirm the sign and call out to Hachidoku.
この位置だと、ブレーキ内の圧縮空気が 0.4 キロ平方センチ減圧される。
減圧？加圧じゃなかと？
うん。減圧で正しいんだ。
I return the automatic brake valve to the overlapping position to pressurize the air again.
列車の自動ブレーキは空気圧がかかり続けることで解除されてる。圧力を抜けばブレーキがかかる構造だ。
どぎゃんして、そぎゃんとややこしか構造しとうと？ブレーキ管の損傷や客車、貨車が分離してしまった場合に備えてです。うわー、すごか。よう考えてあっとね。
After many iterations, yes. You're the amazing one, Makuta. No, you're the amazing one, Makuta. She understood just from that. I couldn't understand the structure and had to get a diagram drawn for me.
圧縮空気でブレーキ圧をかける方式では、分離時の客貨車はブレーキなしに暴走してしまう。
Although it all sounds redundant, I continue moving the brakes in my mouth.
だから、空気が抜けたときブレーキがかかるようにして、安全性をさらに向上させているのだ。
はあ。
She sounds impressed. I get that from her long and heated sigh.
まっこと、ようできとるね。面白かとね。
ならばよかった。ここから先は、車窓風景も面白くなるぞ。
え？ああ。
After finishing the curve, we'll be out of the forest. As the view opens up, we see peaceful farmland. After a while, we'll arrive at the river and railway bridge.
制限解除よし
よし
Yosh. Crunch, clop, drop. What? I hear shoveling at the same time. As the call out, I gather my breath and accelerate. And then they crash and die.
おかえりなさい。お疲れ様です。
Oh, never mind.
うん。
Finishing the test run, we return to Ohituyo Station. Paulette welcomes us with a full smile.
どうでしたか、キャブは。
面白かった。実際乗るといろんなことがわかるとね。
She says that proudly, but I see a pitiful glint in Makuta's eyes.
おかげで新しか蒸気焼酎のヒントも見えたとよ。坊ちゃん、乗せてくれてありがとね。
Of course she was inspired by the steam train.
いえいえ、私なんて何にも。
枕ね、蒸気焼酎のヒントというのは。
そういえば、こん先のお楽しみ。試してみてから話すけ。
After saying that, Makuta turns her entire body to face Paulette.
まっこと、至れり尽くせりで、乗せてくれた上に、お出迎えまで。
あ、出迎えの方は報告もあってなんです。すごくいいニュースが届いたので。
いいニュースでございますか？
ひょっとして、客車関係？大正解です。
Hachidoku has switched back to a maintenance body and is descending from the cab with Hibiki. Paulette's smile grows brighter as interest in the news grows.
客車、譲渡いただけることになったんです。機動車改造の客車を寸大鉄道さんから。
譲渡か。それは素晴らしいな。
はい、お人よと向こうさん、なんだか土地同士の昔の縁もあるみたいなんです。
Paulette explains how and why the transfer will occur. She certainly seems to be in high spirits as she lists out everything.
というわけで、2週間後には客車、お人よに到着します。
さすがだ。やはり鉄道のことならポーレットだな。
私、それしか脳がないですから。
あら、市長さんがそのようなこと、よろしいのですか？
今のはそれじゃ間違いで。でも、政治はどうかな？脳あるのかな？
I mean, considering that you retired in Hibiki and Hachiroku's routes, no. But you didn't retire in your own route, so I guess it evens itself out.
そこは嘘でも、あるって言わなきゃダメなとこばい。そうですね。あります。
She beams a bright smile. Makoto also said she found a hint, so I hope this will lead to results.
ポーレットには負担をかけてしまっているが、その件、引き続き頼めるか？
任せてください。相鉄くんは相鉄くんのお仕事を。私たち、チームなんですから。チーム言うなら私ばい。機関士と機関女子はコンビやけんね。
それを申すなら私こそです。機関士とレイルロードは一心同体も同然ですから。
Well, I mean, Makoto feels left out because she's not part of the three main girls. Hibiki and Hachiroku seem to be arguing now. It's fine that they're motivated, but I don't want this good flow to be disrupted.
チームだぞ。全員揃ってこそではないか。
それは、さようでございます。
I calmed down the 8620 team, and then turned to Makoto.
ということだが、枕ねえから何か希望はあるか？小中列車としても運用できるよ。
Her consciousness was already shifted to the new steam shochu Makoto. Steam shochu. Makoto looks genuinely surprised.
なんか、そういえば、そっちのよかようにしてほしかとよ。
Why'd you move like that, though?
そうか。では、導入はポーレットに任せ、運用してみて不具合があるようなら改善で。
それでよかとよ。鉄道のことはわからんけん。
Makoto whispers to herself.
うちは右田の、焼酎蔵の、当時やけん。
Yeah, she doesn't know anything about trains, so that's why she can't be part of the the main girl group. Unless she becomes like Hibiki and starts to learn more about trains.
枕ねえ。なんだ、いないのか。あれ、今日もいないのか。少し待ってみるかな。
So Tetsu, you do realize you live with her, right? You know you can just go to her room or something.
おかしい。1週間も会えんとは。
We haven't promised to meet. I'm just coming here on my own. We did see each other during the day, and our conversations are pretty typical.
しかし、どうにもしっくりこんな。
I should talk with Makoto about the steam shochu during her night rounds. I thought we had a thing going on recently. Pressed footsteps, muffled breaths. I sensed someone glancing around.
来なきゃ来ないで。寂しかとね。
誰が来ないと寂しいのだ？
Boo! Don't tell me that she's been coming down here every fucking day, and it's only because they keep missing each other that they haven't seen each other here. That's such cliche. Don't tell me that this is just be like, oh, it's been a while since she's been here, right? But like from what she said, man. I come out from behind the tank. Why were you hiding? Who else could come here other than fucking Makoto? I thought she'd be surprised, but Makoto just shows a troubled smile.
なんでそうちゃん、こそこそと。
こそこそせねば会えぬものかと思ってな。
ゾギャンコツ、昼にはいくらも顔合わせとるし。
まあ、うん。それはそうだが。
At least, if they've been coming here at different times, it's been intentional, alright? Don't have it be an accidental thing. Now that she mentions it, I'm getting confused myself. If I just wanted to talk, I could just talk in the morning, after work, or any other time. Yeah, you could.
しかし、やはりしっくりこんのだ。ここでの方が落ち着くし、深く話せるようにも感じて。
Or you could have just, gone to her room and done that too. Makoto's expression twists in a strange way, as if she's smiling to hide some kind of pain.
まあね。
ここしばらく、なぜ僕を、いや、ここでこうして会い、話すことを避けていたのだ。
それは。
After a brief silence, Makoto opens her sealed lips.
一つは、隠しときたかったからばい。
隠す？
うまいこといくか、わからんかったけん。
Whip. She fills up a cup and hands it to me. I smell the rich fragrance of liquor and rice. Just from that, I know it intuitively.
新しいアイディアの蒸気焼酎か。
そうとや。
うん。
Shit.
そうとや。なんで？
Literally only one syllable. I gotta replay it. Ooh. I don't know if the mic picked that up. Liquor. That single word passes my tongue and nose and goes directly into my head.
酒と米。米の酒だな。
It's rice shochu. Of course, that's what it is. It's so obvious that I can't express how good it is. The faint sweetness and fragrance of rice, in addition to this rustic richness.
なあ。土だな。
Actual dirt was included in the recipe. It's the flavor of earth. But it's different from just plain dirt. It's a rich sort of warmth. Oh, she got the fancy dirt from rich people's house.
球磨川の水とお人用の土とそれがぎゅーっと詰まってる。
I'm lacking in vocabulary, but it all seems extraneous. The more I drink, the more it feels like my tongue is washed. All that's left is a single drop.
うまい。
そんなら、よかった。
Makoto smiles out of relief. Feeling relaxed from that, my tongue seems to remember how to speak.
これは温度管理だけでこれほど。
うんうん。米とロカとも変えたとや。
米を変えてしまったのか。
ああ、米の種類はそのまんま。熊さんの米ば使って、けど、精米ばせんように。
Interesting.
ああ、そうか、玄米か。
Plain yet powerful. The flavor is unrefined, but its power remains, and that's how you get that earthy taste, too.
SL から感じさせてもらったけん。
You got that new coal smell.
うん。わかる気がする。
It's primitive, but also has the complexity of a mixture of simple ingredients, powerful, rustic, and beautiful. Oh? That may have been a better gulp. Ooh. No. This flavor and the steam locomotive, the images perfectly match inside my head.
これこそまさしく蒸気焼酎の名にふさわしい。
It's like I'm tasting the train.
根素朴さを生かしたかけん。ろ過も無ろ過にしてみたと。
大正解だと僕は思う。これは雑味ではなく風味だ。
Filtering in brewing liquor is done to take out the excess alcohol that comes from the fermenting of the mash. That in itself has flavor, so the taste changes depending on how much you take out.
温度管理が絶妙にはまったのだな。豊かであるのに綺麗な味だ。
86ちゃん、分析力と作業精度がすごかけん。ちょっと真似できん域まで突き詰めてくれたとよ。
突き詰めたか。
That's true. If you add or take away any part of this, the flavor will be ruined.
精髄だな。
Essence.
あ、
人とレールロードとの火と水との力で生成した。これこそまさに蒸気の精髄たるひとしずくだ。
You. It is you've become so pretentious by just adding the word essence.
ひとしずく。蒸気焼酎。精髄。ひとしずく。
ああ。
It's now we now have a name, a fitting name for it. A fucking name that I don't want to pronounce. I mean, it's not that hard, but like, it's the syllables, alright? Too many. It isn't a manufactured name, but one that this shochu gave itself.
祝杯をあげたい気分だ。
いやね。
Don't make me say it. Another one. Makoto takes out another cup and pours into it.
乾杯。
乾杯。
Our glasses clink. I drink it all down and feel the burning summer wind of Ohituyo pass through my throat.
で、
The liquor lubricates my speech. Because I can feel that, I try to be precise when choosing my words.
この酒が理由の一つなら、他のは何だ？
ああ。
She heard me say something stupid. That's the kind of expression she's making.
ね言うたら、そうね。お姉ちゃんやけん。
Yeah?
お姉ちゃんだから？
そう。
She empties her cup. Makoto holds her alcohol well, so this is probably like water to her. But it feels like she's forcing herself to drink, to get drunk.
お姉ちゃんは、お姉ちゃんやけん。妹の欲しがっとるもの、横取りしたらいけんでしょ？
Don't say it like that.
ああ、そういうものなのかな。
The big sister I know is Makoto, and her alone. And Makoto certainly does yield a lot to Hibiki in me.
そぎゃんとよ。そうちゃんだってわかるでしょ？お兄ちゃんやし。
僕か。僕は、それほどには譲らなかったぞ。
え？
I may have yielded a lot to Hibiki. It could be out of reservations due to me being her big brother and being adopted, but the Michiko.
どうでもいいものは譲ったが、本当に欲しいものなら、たとえ泣かれても譲らなかった。それでも、喧嘩にはならなかったな。それが僕には必要なのだと、やがて分かってもらえて。
I thought it was because Michiko and I were twins, but I quickly denied that in my head. Whether it be with Hibiki or Hachiroku, because that's sincerely how I feel. I thought they'd understand.
お姉ちゃんが欲しがってよかと？
I mean, it depends on what you want to.
当然だろう。枕ネートて、枕ネーである以前に、右田枕という一人の人間なのだから。
一人の人間。
The woman.
人間も、レールロードも、意志を持つ者には必ず、望みを持ち、叶える権利があると、僕は信じる。
I mean, like, if it's awkward to call yourself the big sister in bed, you don't have to. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it'd be hot. I mean, otherwise, I'd lose the meaning to live. Without desire, you cannot make anything a reality.
ほんなら、
Makoto comes closer. She's too close. Not that it matters or anything, but I can't help but get nervous.
そうちゃんも欲しがってよかとよね。
僕が、か。
Maybe that may be, but ever since I lost Michiko, I never quite decided anything.
ねえ、そうちゃんは何ば欲しかと？
You? I mean,
僕は、
I'm confused by her question. I can't quickly answer that. There's nothing I want. There is something I desire deep down, but I feel like I'm afraid to face it.
わからない。
Oh, fuck you. Man, they were going through a moment. Why do you have to fuck it up with the audio and shit, man? Fuck you. It wasn't even that bad, but that's because he was quiet about it. It's not gonna hurt your ears when you hear it again. When I fucking boost the audio, but like, you know.
わからないかな。
よね。わからんとよね。
A sigh of relief. Makoto turns around and makes a long, tired sigh.
ずーっと我慢ばしとるもんね。欲しがってよかって言われても戸惑うとよね。
ああ。うん。そうだな。まさしくそうだ。
I was never forbidden from wanting something, but being left behind, I felt I didn't deserve it. Thus, I lived so that I didn't desire anything.
でも、そうね。本当に欲しかもんなら欲しがって当然よかとよね。
うん。
The words that I thought I said to Makoto bounced back to me. Ah, it's like a reflection. The chief brewer of Mikita and an accidental survivor. You say that like you're the only survivor. God damn it. I look, I already talked about it in Paulette's route. Alright, I'm not going to say it again. The role, or should I say function. I've always filled that role, at least until now. So I haven't known what else to do.
僕だけではないのだな。
何がと？
なんというか、自分が例外だというか、自分にだけは許されぬものと思い込んでしまってたのが。
ああ、あるかもね。そういうの。
A completely relaxed nod. It seems to soothe my soul.
うん。あるよな。
Back then, I couldn't even stand if I wasn't being held up with chains. But now, I can go on even without the chains. Makoto and I aren't alone anymore. My narrowed vision widens. When I regain it, I realize something Something quite simple.
あった。望みが。欲しいものが。
Don't say you.
なになになんね
What is he gonna say?
グランプリだ。最優秀賞だ。ISC の。
Okay.
そうね。そうよね。
お人よのためでも、右田のためでもなく、僕個人が単純に勝ちたい。この酒で。
うん。勝ちたかね。みんなで一緒に勝ちたかね。
She nods and we face each other. We nod to each other again and laugh.
そしたら次も、もっとずーっと欲しかったもんも、きっと手に入れてみせるけん。
This time I pour liquor into the empty cup. I pour liquor into the full cup and it spills all over the ground. We have another toast as if it's the right thing to do.
ISC のグランプリを願って。
本当に欲しかもんだけは、きっと手にできるように、願って。
乾杯。
MP. I down it immediately. The third drink of Hito Shizuku fills my stomach and feels more refreshing than perhaps any liquor I've ever had before. It's coming to an end soon, right? I don't think the next chapter is going to be as long as the last two, right? It does make sense that they're going to another chapter, right, instead of just transitioning.
かけん。
I guess there will be more to this I guess there will be more to the route then. I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything, even if I stay in my room. But I came to the living room, but nothing changed. I can't think of any ideas on what to draw.
せっかく、また任せてもらえたけん。
They let me design the new Steam Shochu label. That means they trust me. I should be happy about it, but the more I think about it, my mind just goes blank.
描けんとは、ラベルデザインか。
I don't want him to see the floor, so I jump up. See me on the floor, so I jump up. But Nini looks worried for me. Did I look that terrible? That's kind of embarrassing.
多分ちょっと考えすぎちゃっとるだけやけん。
Artist block.
思うところが何かあるのか。
I realize that now that he mentions it. We've lived apart for years, but Nini is still Nini. He's watched over me at my worst.
あると、思うところば多すぎて頭がぐちゃぐちゃしよるんよ。
First is, of course, Nini. Nini and Nene have been talking cheerfully at the brewery in the middle of the night.
僕でよければ話を聞くぞ。話せば思考を整頓できる。
They've been sneaking away into the brewery at the middle of the night and been giggling the whole night, and been giggling to each other all night long.
ニーに頭よかけんね。そいで解決するだろうけど、私は頭悪かけん。きっと余計にぐちゃぐちゃしよると。
そんなことはないし、そんなことはない。
I burst out laughing. He says weird things with a straight face. Yet Nini has this blank look on his face. He really looks confused.
何が面白かったのだ？
ニーに同じ言葉2回言うけん。
いや、それぞれに一度ずつだぞ。前者と後者と。
前者と後者？
He's explaining it, but I don't actually know what he means.
まず、整頓できることと解決できることとは別だ。次に、響の頭は悪くない。
Before I can remember, Nini answers, Or is it? If organizing and solving are different.
ニーニーにも抱えとるような悩みってあると？
あるぞ。当然のことだろ
当然かな。ニーニーって何でも即断即決即解決の人やでしょ？
そんな化け物のはずもあるまい。僕とて一人の人間だ。
Nini changed. I feel my skin and heart rustle. Nini, also Nini. Also, Nini used to be the kind that kept his true self hidden.
悩んどるのってどぎゃんこと？
いや、そう大したことでは。
ニーニーが言うたよ。話せば整頓ばできるって。
聞きたいのなら聞かせるが、特に面白い話でもないぞ。
Nini makes a weak smile while he talks. He talks about everything. He talked to Nene about during their late night conversation, except for the parts where they... Never mind.
ふーん。ねえねえに避けられとったと？
That's because she wants some dick. I mean...
うん。それで僕は避けられていた理由を聞いた。一つはそれ。ひとしずくの制作だと言っていた。
うん。仕上がり近かとき、ねえねえ、ピリピリしよるけんね。
Her eyes get super mean when it's really bad. I kind of understand why she doesn't want to show that to Nini.
それと、もう一つ理由があると聞かせてもらって。その時は僕も酔ってた気分で、なんとなく受け答えたが。
Her other reason is because she likes Sotetsu and doesn't and doesn't want to take him away from Hibiki.
うん。
I know, that's what I thought.
落ち着いて考えると、よく意味がわからん気がして。それで、まあ、悩んでいるというか、考え込んでいる。
ねえねえ、何倍言いよったと？
妹の欲しがるものを横取りできないと。
Yeah, and that's and that's where the implication comes from. In the something she in the something being Sotetsu. What I want, and she's avoiding Nini. Then Nene also, but she never even hinted at it. Yeah, she's good at hiding it though. Not even once. It just seems so unnatural. It's impossible. Even if she had gotten a bit nervous, Nene could hide it easily with her mature mannerisms. But if I think of it that way, there's only one answer.
しかし僕には、果たして何を枕姉が欲しがってるのか、響きからの横取りになると考えているのかが。
See, this is not the... See, this is a good... This is, This is not a case of dense character syndrome like it has been in the other routes, right? Because at least in this one, Makoto is good at hiding her feelings towards Sotetsu. And he hasn't been around Hibiki enough to notice any of her feelings towards him as well.
それを知ったら。
Deep in the back of my mind, I whisper to myself to leave it alone. If I leave it alone, you still have a chance. Might be able to make up for lost time.
それが何なのか分かったら。兄さんはどうするつもりなんですか？
I couldn't help but ask. I probably already know the answer. If it may end up hurting me, I just have to ask.
無論、枕姉の願いを叶えるべく手伝いたい。
どうして無論なんですか？
僕は右田の養子で枕姉に守ってもらった恩がある。それを返すのはごく当然のことだろ
う。Debt, duty, be useful. That's what Nini always says. But that's not all anymore. Even if Nini didn't realize it himself.
だったら私も 右田響も右田の娘で、少しは何かで兄さんの役にとか立ちましたよね。
少しどころか、大いにだ。機関女子としてはもちろん、お人よのことを教えてもくれたし、助かってるさ。
なら、
I wanted him to have eyes only for me, so I don't say Nene's name.
私の願いも、兄さんは叶えてくれますか？
無論だ。僕にできることなら。
Oh, this hurts, man. I feel sad that he doesn't realize even after telling him this much. When I think about it some more, it makes me even sadder. Nissan seems to be unable to think that others can love him. I wish I were the one who could help him remember that. Even if I can't do that, I want to declare my love in a more dramatic way.
それは大丈夫。兄さんになら叶えられる。兄さんにしか叶えられない願いです。
I've wished for this ever since we first talked. That also means that Nene has been bottling it up and hiding it all these years. Okay, maybe not that long.
兄さん、私は。
But I have to say this. My inner voice tells me to stop. Then I'll get hurt. That it will hurt Nissan.
あなたが好きです。家族としてってだけじゃなく、女として恋人になりたいっていう意味で好きです。
Look, I knew Hibiki liked Sotetsu, like before the routes, right? But at least in fucking Paulette and Hachidoku's route, we didn't have this fucking moment where she realizes that fucking Hachidoku / Paulette likes Sotetsu, and then see, I knew it. Nini is surprised and troubled.
だから、私の願いは。
If I get teary, it'll just trouble him more. So I keep my tummy tight in an effort to hold back the tears.
兄さんと恋人同士にずっとなりたいって思ってて。
He's troubled. I didn't want to do this to him, but I'm honestly happy that it did trouble him. That it does trouble him. Because if he's feeling troubled, that also means he sees me as more than his adoptive sister.
だから、
すまん、響。
Fuck, man. My heart hurts. Mine too. I already knew this would be how it went, but it still makes me want to cry. This is bad.
謝らないでください、兄さん。
I'm forcing out a smile to cope. I feel pitiful for my weakness. I return to my safe zone position of his sister. I want to be cared for as a sister again.
私、兄さんに教えてあげたかっただけですから。
僕に何をだ？
兄さんは人に好きになられる人だってことです。役に立つとか敵味方とか、そんなことなんて関係なしに。
A long sigh. It all connects. That's the impression I get. The stealing part and my declaration of love. I thought Nissan finally understands. I think Nissan finally understands.
それだけわかれば大丈夫。きっとわかりますから。
Nini reaches out to me, but something seems to stop him midway.
横よ、撫でて。私、いい子の妹やけん。
Nini's hand, his big hand. He slowly pats me on the head.
ありがとうな、響。
どういたしまして。
I can't. If I let him see me cry, it'll burden Nini that much more.
私、こけそう。すごく、ちょっと、一人にしてくれる？
Once again. Alright. You fucked me over again. Fucking game.
私、こけそう。すごく、ちょっと、一人にしてくれる？
ああ。
Nini is walking away so easily. I did tell him to go, but I actually...
頑張りましたね。立派でしたよ、響。
Why are you having question marks? For a second, I think Nini's come back, but the hand that caresses me is too small.
すみません。立ち聞きするつもりはなかったのですが。
よかよ。ここ、今やもんね。
I'm relieved that it wasn't Nini, and yet at the same time I'm disappointed.
立派でした。とてもかっこよかったです。
Hatadoku knows. It doesn't matter if she's a Railord. That's why I have to ask. It may be cruel though.
八六は、これで、よかったと？
私は、相鉄様の所有物ですから。相鉄様が幸せになられる道を望むのみです。
ああ、そうよね。幸せになってほしかもんね。
Nini isn't the only one I love and hope is happy. I hated being compared and was sad when I wasn't recognized because I love and respect them.
背中ば誰かが押さんと、きっと二人とも幸せば我慢しちゃうもんね。
I don't want to cheat and then say I won. It'd be an insult to Nene.
立派でした、響。
I'm sure in 10 years, I can look back on this at this and say I did well. But right now, I don't need to be proud of it.
それでもやっぱり悲しかね。
It would have been better if I were the one by Nini's side, making him happy.
ネット中継くらいしてほしいですよね。すごく大きなイベントなんですし。
それだけ歴史と伝統を大事にしているということなのだろう。
I had intended for that to calm Paulette, but it seems to have made her even more worried. ISC is as traditional and conservative, so I'm worried if Japanese spirits will be well received.
まあ、やれるだけのことはやったけ。
Makoto speaks in a relaxed way. She looks at Hibiki softly.
ひーちゃんがデザインしてくれたラベルも、まっこと、ひとしずくにふさわしかものになったけ。
だな。
The shoulder label that goes around the bottle has 8620 running on some tracks. The bottle label the image of Kuma River and rice plants with steamed shochu essence. He tells Shizuku, Jesus Christ, oh, fuck, what a mouthful, written in black ink.
特に型ラベルがいい。つながっているという感じを受ける。
ならバッチリたい。そぎゃんと思ってデザインしたけ。
Yeah, she had that idea after she bawled her eyes out after you rejected her.
そうか。
After her telling me the important news, it was awkward for 2 or 3 days. But Hibiki is now back to her usual self.
お前にはいつも本当に助けられるな。感謝している。
やだ、水草かとよ、ニーニ。 私とニーニーの仲やけ。
The daughter of Mikita and the adoptive son. We were given this relationship and maintained it. Hibiki took the initiative to try to change it. I should be more like Hibiki. I reflected on my own feelings, and I think that I have organized it somewhat. I've kept quiet about it so that it doesn't interfere with the exhibit to ISC. Today is the day. No matter what the result, I will tell her in front of everyone. Members and invitees are the only ones who can enter the contest hall. My adoptive father is heading there now. What? He's still alive? He hasn't showed up at all in this fucking game. I thought he was dead or something. He is a well-established liquor wholesaler. Said a thief to catch a thief, they say.
なかなか結果出ませんね。
Who the fuck is they, though? I've never heard that saying. Paulette is the least involved with the brewing. Perhaps because of that, though, she's the most restless. Yeah, but like, Raina is even less involved.
あ、来たばーい。待ちくたびれたばーい。携帯、充電切れてたりとか。
Restlessness infected Nagi and Fukami. I check my cell and nod to Makoto slowly to say it's fine.
皆様、レーナを見習うと良いですよ。
What? She looks like she's sleeping. She is sleeping. Yeah, you should be more like Raina and fucking go to sleep. Raina's sleeping on Paulette's lap.
なるほど。家宝は寝て待て。あ
Makoto's cell phone rings. While everyone freezes up, I hear a slow and relaxed voice.
はい、もしもし。あ、うん。結果ば出たと？
She talks while nodding.
きっと優勝ば、ダメだよ、ナギちゃん。静かに聞かなきゃ。
うん。うん。ああ。うん。うん、わかったと。え？あ、うん。教えてよかよ。
Yuki's expression darkens, and so does Nagi's. I get the same ominous feeling. I think Nagi's expression is darkening because she's getting choked out by Fukami. The way she talks is in a tone that carries good news.
わかった。気ぃつけて戻ってね。あ、せっかくやけんお土産に。あ、うん。はーい。お願いします。
どうだった枕ね。
Zero.
8位。入賞はしたって。
Never mind. Eighth
8位
place.
入賞か。
Talk about landing smack dab in the middle. How many placements are there? 16? Then again, it's better than being out of selection. Fukami's arm drops weakly in the next instant. Nagi takes a deep breath.
残念。優勝ばできんかったとか。
It's because they're all Americans, you know. They don't understand the complexities of Japanese shochu.
だけどナギちゃん、世界8位ってことだし、すごいし。そぎゃんと言われれば。
おっと。
I don't know whether to celebrate or be mired with regret. While I'm still confused, the cell phone rings again. I put my index finger on my lips and Nagi and Fukami go quiet.
はい、もしもし。右対。Yes. Here is a glory of ひとしずく。
We are the brewery of Hitoshizuku.
英
ということは、まさか。
Brand is still sleeping though.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for your inquiry. Bye.
Thank you for your inquiry.
注文か？
英国のプレジデンツ・ファインリカーさんって、最低注文は何本からか問い合わせ。
British?
輸出か。僕は全く未経験だが、浅野酒造さんが確か米国に出荷してるよな。
いやね、詳しいこと聞いとけばよかったね。
あ、
はい、もしもし、右対。Wait. 待って。Please.
Wait.
どうした枕ね。
ぽーちゃん、ちょこっとお願いできる？フランク語か。でなけりゃ諦めるしかなか言葉やけん。
あ、はい。じゃあ変わってみます。ね、に、これ見て、これ。
Hibiki pulls out my sleeve.
なんで？もう、なぎちゃん、割り込みしたらダメだよ。
いや、カモン。みんなで見よ
Hibiki points at the screen of a tablet for a for a list of past ISC awarded liquors. I had to shut it out. I'd shut it out so that I didn't have any preconceived notions.
う。これは。
深見ちゃん、兄さん、どぎゃんして呆れたような顔しとうと？だって、これ、すごく偏ってるから。英国、フランク、独国、南国、イスパニア。
España? Bro. Okay, you've got England, Germany, Netherlands, and then you got fucking France and Spain. Just say fucking France and Spain.
見事に欧州。それも、西部欧州ばかりだな。
その、ISC で評価ばするお酒、そこと日の本でしか作られとらんの？
Dude, this isn't even like a Japanese thing, right? Because if it was, Germany would be fucking Deutschland or whatever.
いや、まさか、西部欧州以外でも、ウォッカ、テキーラ、ラム、ジン、うまい蒸留酒はいくらでもある。
でしたら、差別のような何かが？
Discrimination. Yeah, we already established this like at the start when we first talked about the ISC. When you started saying that they compare that they put every fucking liquor on a list and compare each one to other liquors. It is like fucking how do I describe this? It is like in Genshin, every character serves a different role, and putting them all on a tier list, just ranking them from S to F, right, would be a disservice to the role that character plays.
それもありえん。酒はすべて同じグラスに注がれた状態。つまり、完全に周辺情報を遮断されて審査されるから。
Right, like you can't have Farina Nahida riding all in S tier, right, without explaining why. Because if you're going off of DPS, Farina and Nahida would fall off the face of the earth and would be in fucking like C tier or whatever. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. Either way, every liquor serves a different purpose and can't be compared to each other.
あら、にいに、これって、ひとしずくの8って。
うん。
The phone won't stop ringing. Makoto told my adoptive father it was alright to tell him her phone number.
つまりこれはかなりすごい偉業と言うべきことかもしれん。
うわ
お疲れ様、枕ね。
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's the CG. For free? I can't believe we're getting feet as well. When I call out to her, Makoto finally turns off her cell phone. She stretches and takes a deep breath.
携帯ば教えていいなんて言わんと、最初から父さんに丸投げしとけばよかった。
まあ、それはそうだな。
My adoptive father married into the Mikita family. His skill as a liquor wholesaler is first rate.
それはそうだが、父さんも僕らに伝えたかったのだろう。
Yikes. Should I go back for that one? You know what? Yeah, probably best to. It wasn't as bad, but, like, I would rather have a cleaner sounding sentence.
それはそうだが、父さんも僕らに伝えたかったのだろう。
ああ。
Eighth place in ISC, the first award outside of Western Europe. How amazing that it can be proven by the unending phone calls.
まあ、そう考えると嬉しかね。
そう考えても、やはり悔しさも強いのか。
当然よ。優勝しか狙っとらんかったけんね。
You would have gotten it too if it wasn't for those meddling biases. Marketer never changes. If you're going to do something, aim to be the best at it. It's easy to say that, but how many people actually follow through on that ideology?
ありゃ、みんなは？
帰った。ナビにも送らせた。
Yeah, and Hibiki has set this up so that Makoto and Sotetsu could be alone with each other.
ありゃりゃ。まあ、時間も時間やもんね。
The clock shows it's 3 in the morning. Oh. The time difference is 8 hours, so it's 7 at night in England right now.
携帯を切って正解だったな。あのままではきっと寝かせてももらえなくなる。
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, England is GMT plus is UTC plus 1, and Japan is UTC plus 9, so it is an 8-hour difference. I thought it'd be like 9 because the fucking GMT is based off of a city is based off of a town in Great Britain. Right? That's how time zones have been measured. And Japan is around around GMT plus 9. So yeah, but I guess England is just slightly to the right of that of Greenwich.
優勝したら、徹夜で祝杯も大歓迎やったとけどね。
I don't remember if Greenwich is a town in Britain. It just sounds British. It may be part of Britain. While saying that, she opens a bottle. The smell of liquor, the smell of rice. Makoto takes out a plain-looking glass.
8位入賞の祝杯だったら、コップ一杯くらいがよかかね。
うん、いいな。
I nod, and I'm handed a cup. Hito Shizuku is poured in.
が、枕ね。少しだけ祝杯を待ってほしい。酒が入ったら、話せぬ話をしたいんだ。
ん？
She gives me a blank look. In that instant, my head starts spinning. The timing of this may be lacking common sense. I don't know. Though seeing as I have no experience, it's something that can be studied, so here it goes.
大事な話なんだ。つまり、 僕は枕姉を好きだという。
Oh, he's just outright saying it. He isn't even trying to set it up or anything. He's just being like, I love you, bitch. I'm never gonna stop loving you, bitch. Makoto turns bright red, all the way down to her fingertips, almost as if she had just chugged down a drink that's 90% alcohol. You would die if I don't think she'd be turning red. I think she'd be turning dead. Wait, I made a mistake in the order. I made a mistake, but I can't go back now.
好きというのは異性としてそばにいたいという好きだ。なぜそう思うようになったかというと、気づいたからだ。
気づいた？
I wish the feet were back. I mean, her eyes ask me what I realized. As if she were already drunk, her large eyes are teary and wavering.
響が僕に恋愛の恋心の告白をしてくれた。その時、響は問うてきた。右田と言うなら、自分も同じじゃないのか、と。
何が右だと？
右田が、恩が理由であるなら、枕姉だけじゃなく自分も、願いを叶えてほしいと。それで僕は疑問に思った。なぜ僕は枕姉にだけ頼らずいようと思っていたかを。
If the reason is because I'm Mikita, I wouldn't have depended on Hibiki either. Happy forgive your foe and beach day. So forgive the pricks in your life and go chill at the beach, as I will most likely continue my Elden Ring push-up challenge. Okay, well, you know, you need to forgive... you need to remember to forgive Melania when... But only Makoto. I always felt I always felt that she was the exception. You too. Listen, it's forgive your foe day, alright? So you need to forgive... I forgot the names of the other bosses in Elden Ring. Listen, I haven't played it. Fucking, Dark Souls 1 Gwyn. Not that far yet. Well, you know.
それで気づいた。義理だの恩だの関係なしに。僕は枕姉に僕を認めてもらいたいんだ。
Only 11 deaths, 110 push-ups? Oh my god. 10 push-ups a death is the... You're gonna die before you beat the game, bro. Gonna triple that today. Jesus. In the past, but now. Not in the past, but now.
できる男と思われたいし、かっこいいと感じてほしい。だから僕は、枕姉には頼っちゃダメだと思ってた。
それって、
多分、異性への憧れ程度なのだと思う。他に何かが起きていたなら、消し飛んでしまう程度の。
She sounds disappointed, but that makes my heart spring up. I want to see her smile, so I continue on.
だが、消し飛びはしなかった。ところが、種となり、大きく育った。
I suddenly have a strong desire to drink. After all, this is embarrassing and awkward. It's suffocating. It does feel a bit claustrophobic considering you've zoomed in so much. But I have to do this sober. I have to say this sober, or else it'll distort my feelings.
一緒に酒を作っていて、たくさん話して、強く感じた。僕は枕姉のことをもっと知りたい。近くに行きたい。
She nods, but does nothing else. I feel like that's her way of validating me, so I take a step forward. I came so close that if our hearts could touch, they would. Makoto looks up at me.
僕の前では、どんな我慢もしてほしくない。僕は、 枕姉が大好きだから。甘やかしたい。
ね。そうちゃん。
She looks hard pressed for something, not to mention her voice sounds reluctant. I feel like all the blood's rushed to my feet.
恋愛とか、今まで全然したことないから、きっとうちめんどくさくてややこしかとよ。
そんなことなら僕も同じだ。面倒でややこしくても僕は枕姉と恋をしたい。
A small nod. Makoto's lips move without a sound.
枕姉、僕は枕姉に僕の恋人になってほしいと望んでいる。
うち、私、
Her throat moves. I hear her swallowing. She's shaking ever so slightly, but she doesn't take her eyes off me for a second. She's not looking at you right now.
そうちゃんのこと、大好きやけん。恋人に、ずっと、してほしく。やったばーい
What I tell you, fucking Hibiki was.
なぎちゃん
Hibiki just sent everyone away to hide in the fucking closet or whatever. In the other room. They all fall in. Nagi, Fukami, Hachinoki, Hibiki, Paulette, and even Reina, who's still sleeping.
私は皆を止めようとしたのでございますよ。
Oh, Hachinoki was in on it too, of course she was.
止めるふりして一番熱心に見てたばい。私も帰ろうってして、でもナビさんが見逃すと損ですよって言って、それで。
Ah, Navi was in on it too.
ナビが？ああ、そうか。僕はおそらく分かりやすい類の人間なのだな。
Nods all around. Everyone except Reina does so quietly.
平気よ、そうちゃん。そういうとこもみんなまとめて好きやけん。
What do you mean by that?
ならばよかった。
I was a bit surprised, but it saved me the trouble of telling everyone. Oh, and
せっかくだ。祝杯を共に願えるか。
はい、喜んで。ISC と恋の話とダブルの祝杯ですね。
and to love. You know what, guys? Love wins. At least this time they aren't talking about marrying each other. Maybe.
相鉄様、おめでとうございます。
ねえねえ、ニーニもおめでとう。
Ibuki's still a bit jealous, though.
へへへ、お祝い事なんですね。おめでとうです。ラムネード小バエ、うちたちお酒ばまだ飲めんばい。私、お手伝いします。
See, I can't use the excuse that, but they're 18 years old. Of course they're adults, but like the legal drinking age is 20. So the older ones drink Hitoshizuku, while the students drink steam ramune. Why? That does not sound appetizing. We all fill our glasses to the brim.
86は真水。レイナは軽油で間違いないな。おっと。
Makoto isn't even holding her cup.
ああ、そうちゃん。違くて、そのね。
ん?
She whispers into my ear. I begin to feel drunk, noticing that it hits my ears first. If that's what Makoto wants, then of course I'll grant it.
それでは、ひとしずくの ISC8 位入賞と、僕と枕ネートの恋愛成就とを祝って、乾杯!
She doesn't want alcohol anymore. She wants something else. something. Come. She wants come. A huge call out for the toast. Glasses clinking with each other. Amidst it, I put the cup immediately to my lips.
まさか何が起きるんですか？
I want to drink in celebration with Makoda. I knew he was going to do that. With our lips touching each other, I slowly drink it down. What a first kiss.
枕ねいるか？
おるとよ。
She answers right after I ask, but I don't physically see her first.
なんとまあ、醸造タンクの中にいたのか。
新しか子にタンクの清掃場教えとったけ。
なるほどな。
Newcomers start with cleaning. This hard rule applies even to rail lords.
ところで、なんと？
I mean, like, isn't it similar in like a restaurant? With chefs starting off as waiters and waitresses. Normally.
ああ、そうだった。ポーレットからの連絡なのだが。
焼酎列車、また参加者が増えてくれたと？
なあ、佐賀県は唐津鉄道と後部酒造さんのコンビだ。
ああ、異界シリーズの後部さん。って、佐賀県言うたら。
Makoda starts folding her fingers to count. After folding all of her fingers in one hand, 1, 2.
そう、7件目の参加だ。これで九州全県に焼酎列車が走ることになる。
わあ。
A sigh of admiration. Makoda's tone shows that.
すごかよね。ほんまこつ。九州ぐるり。焼酎列車で巡れる日も近かとかもね。
ポーレットはそのつもりのようだ。まずは仙台までを伏線させると。
ああ、エアクラさんが出資かなんかしおると？
As usual, her speculations on point. With Hito Shizuku becoming famous overnight, that even caused the aircraft company to change their decision.
新工場は仙台で確定したという話だ。結果としては三方一両独となったのではなかろうか。
She nods numerous times in agreement, then lets out another long sigh.
すごかとね。物事は動く時には一気にグワンって動きよるね。
本当にだな。ということでポーレットからさらなる話を預かってきている。
Resumes. Perhaps resumes, right? That it's not resumes. Even though both are spelled the same, it's probably resumes. And perhaps calling it histories is more accurate. When I hand over a thick stack of papers, Makoda's eyes widen.
これ青か目の外国のレールロードと？
Makoda, you have blue eyes too. Wait.
うん。研修をさせてほしいとの希望が殺到している。特に英国のレールロードが多いそうだぞ。
英国の？
何せ鉄道とレールロードの発祥の地だ。大敗戦後楽隠居をしていたレールロードも多いらしい。
はあ。
まずはテストケースとして1体マクラ姉が好きに選んで構わんそうだ。
好きに言うても。
She flips through the paperwork. After a while, Makoda gives up.
選べんよ。わからんもん。そうちゃんとぽーちゃんのおすすめは？
僕もわからん。が、ポーレット86レイナは F スコッティというレールロードを押していた。
F. Scotty. Yep.
やったらその子で受け入れ体制のことやなんやら 先様と相談せんとね。
手配しておこう。ひとまずはこんなところかな。なった。
Makoto falls into my arms. Considering how busy she is, that's to be expected. I don't want the other brewery workers to see, but I stroke the back of her head.
変わるか？掃除番の仕事であれば僕にも教えられる。
平気。新しか流れば落ち着くまでの苦労やし。
新しい流れか。
Things are changing. A powerful flow, much stronger than I imagined.
文字通りに精髄だったのだな。ただのひとしずくがこれほど大きな流れとなるとは。
ドギャンと大きな流れも。言うたら、ひとしずくひとしずくの集まりやけん。
ああ。
I do understand that. I'm one of those drops, and so is Makoto. As a Hatsuroku, Hibiki, Paulette, Reina, Nagi, and Fukami, a lot of different emotions and people were the drops that created this flow.
流れからきっとまたいくつものひとしずくが分かれ、それがまたさらなる流れを生み出していく。
Railways and liquor brewing are the same. That's how things can change.
ねえ、そうちゃん。
A glancing kiss. Her heated lips go straight to my ear. What?
うちらも作ろう。二人だけの新しか流れ。
What do you mean by that, Makoto? That could imply so many things. I welcome it. It is inevitable. But it's still daytime, and we're in the brewery. I can't grant Makoto's wishes immediately. Bro! Don't tell me they're talking about making fucking... Not...
Huh?
I kiss her as my answer to her. She gets my message. I receive it too. Our emotions, our warmth, the emotion of love is distilled.
よし。
And we each become a new drop to pass down to a new life. Bro, they are talking about fucking baby making. Maitetsu is gonna knock her up tonight. You know, I'm glad that that there's a unique ending for Makoto's route. And well, there you go. It was longer than I expected, but I enjoyed it. Hey. Paulette's Paulette. Makoto's route was good. You know, it wasn't the best, of course. It wasn't, you know, it's not as good as one of the longer routes, right? But it wasn't bad, at least. But what it did do was it changed my my rankings a bit, you know. Unfortunately, it did what I thought it would do, and it changed my rankings around a bit. So there you go. Once again, showing this on the worst background because it's fucking white text on white. Look, at least there's a black border around it, so the black outline, so you can still see it. But Makoto is fourth now. Sorry, Reina, you're gonna have to wait until her route to see if the ranking changes. But yeah, and we can hide that now. Imagine using a character chatbot and knocking her up so much that your essence goes into her tubes. Huh? Fucking what? Dexter, I think you need to calm down on your chatbots. All right? You just said the most nonsensical shit ever fucking ever fucking imagined. Anyway, enough about Dexter's ramblings. It was a good route. I hated that we had to go through we had to go through the Hibiki loving Sotetsu arc and then him fucking rejecting her, man. Why did he have to do, man? I get that it's fucking Makoto's route, but like, why did he have to do it, man? He could have had both of them. I heard something in hentai about overflowing the womb and into her tubes. Isn't that a thing? No, that's not a thing. Even if it is, it's not gonna impregnate it's not impregnate a woman. The eggs need to travel through the fallopian tubes into the womb first to allow for fucking impregnation. Kind of. Okay. You know, I'm not qualified to speak on it, but why the fuck are you taking... Why are you taking information from hentai and applying it to real life? What if the essence goes into the tubes and into the eggs directly? Well, first of all, it's not going to go into multiple eggs. It's very complicated. Alright. Newsflash, Dexter. You can't impregnate a girl just by coming in her a lot, alright? You need to wait for her menstruation cycle. Who would have guessed? And this is all going into the fucking... This is all going into the episode because this was... We're talking about this during the fucking credits. Fuck you. Holy... I didn't expect to get a new background so soon, but I guess, you know, side character routes, they only took one stream. It was good. I'm glad that it wasn't too short, right? It was short, of course, but it wasn't too short, so that we got more development between Makoto and Sotetsu. But, yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow would be appreciated. If you want to support me even further, you could always subscribe on the on YouTube and Twitch. What are you talking about, Dexter? So what if the essence goes through the tubes? I meant the semen itself, the gooey part into the over. Like, what happens if you inject someone's semen directly into the organ and that keeps the eggs? I'm not gonna answer that. That's disgusting. But, anyway. Next time, with YouTube, we'll be starting off in, Kisaki's route. That might also take another, one stream, but I might have to split it up into 2 episodes, like I think I will with this one. I don't know yet. But, either way, I hope you enjoyed, and for the stream, I'm not streaming tomorrow, but next time I'll be streaming Amazing Grace. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. and I will see you guys next time. Why would I know what the best brand for laptop screen wipes is? Dexter, you can look that up yourself. I barely use laptop screen wipes. Anyway. Bye-bye.